Buenas tardes. Entertainment purposes only, okay? Entertainment purposes only. In a first of its kind, in a first ever. Doesn't matter what planet it is. It's just started now. A science audit. Planet Earth, a science audit, unheard of. In the history of everything, this hasn't ever happened before. The occasional audit, behaviour, but a science audit. This happened because of the speed of light, right? Sent a flag, red flag went up. So you have to imagine a nightclub. Loads of lights flashing, do, 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 do. Everything's in sync. And over in the far corner, there's a bulb. It's jittery, just not right. You have to keep tapping it. Something's out, something, a filament or something. That's planet Earth, okay? To the rest, to everyone else. When they claimed other light speed, not absolute, it's absolute, universal wide, okay? It set off a chain reaction, something's out. And there is now going to be an audit. Now, a science audit has never been done before. It's a gathering of facts to see what went wrong, because there's always going to be certain things. Right here, two wires here. Is that light above that glow? Boop, boop. It's the usual light that I use. Why am I doing this? Well, this audit is going to be looking at the electrons and the atoms and the way electricity flows through wires, all sorts of stuff. Now, if light is absolute, why wouldn't electricity be absolute? Delay? Not delay. If this flashlight is 10 k's away from me, facing me, its range is 9. Somebody turns it on, I'm looking in its direction, I don't see it. I am out of range of the light source. It's not going to come towards me, is it? You're told it does, it travels forever, but it doesn't. It's got a certain range. Once it reaches that range, science will look. Once it reaches that range, sight-wise, for me, and I don't see it, I'm never going to see it. Unless I move closer, it moves closer or gets more powerful, or I use a telescope. I use a telescope, I will see the light source again, but in real time. It's common sense and logic. Claiming a different speed of light and then teaching it and controlling the local neighborhood light space, I mean, it set up a red flag. It flew up a long time ago. It's just all condensed, funneled into this. It's a great time to be alive. It really is. I am going to stay here. So we did that. So what I've done with these wires, it's the usual bulb, right? That one up there, there's wires, goes down, and usually that is the junction, and the wires just come out about 1 meter, and I join them, and it lights up. But I've extended them, and they both go, see, along the grass there, right? It goes up, and then you see that red string. That's the same wire, right? It's just going around that wood. It's all connected. It's just one circuit all the way back here. I've got one there, and then that one there, and they are both down here now. Right, now I'm going to put one in this water and one in this one. Now this science audit, it has unfortunately led to a lot of scrutiny of other stuff, right? Some just fucked up, okay? Because it's a little bit naughty what has been happening. I'm sure they must have known something was going to happen. This one in here. Right. Now, if I put that green one, the other one in there, will I close the circuit? Will that light up? So I'm going to make sure you see, the most important thing here is transparency. If you couldn't see one bit of what I'm about to do, then straight away you could call horseradish. Now, will it light up? Ready? Ding, ding, look, ding. Right? Now, what have we here? It's just a small battery. It'd be a direct current, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be alternating. Electrons and atoms and all this stuff. Is it a lot simpler than all of that? That is light, isn't it? Light is absolute. So, with electricity, why wouldn't it be the same? Suddenly hits a switch. If you've got your fingers in a socket, a fork somewhere, and the power is off in Queensland, and they finally get one of the power stations up and running again, every single house who didn't have power and that suddenly has power again, it would all happen at the same time. If it's got to go through different relay stations, but everything that is connected to one circuit, it will all happen at absolute speed. When you see a blackout, it doesn't go, you see them go, do, 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 but that's just because certain substations are dropping. But everything on one circuit, it all happens at the same time. No light source, no light. Power drops, bang, it dies everywhere. All of the satellites and everything, right? Up in space, speed of light, 90% of all of that internet connections, everything, it's wires, isn't it, that run cables under the sea. Loads, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of kilometers of cables are connecting us. Now, why is that? Satellites, speed of light, GPS, boom, 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 boom. Why cables? Bueller? You could be playing on an Xbox game with somebody. When they drop out and they're playing from the US, they drop out. It's all at absolute speed. Any delay on any of this stuff are the junction boxes and the capacitors and the whatever, the the currency, alternators, that kind of stuff, transformers, that is where the delays are. But everything that's plugged into a circuit is all wired in. And it all happens at absolute speed. There is no delay. If I'm going to get a zap, if I make that circuit, if I'm going to get a zap, the zap comes when the switch is hit, not 2 seconds later. If I don't get zapped and the switch has been turned on, it means there's an open circuit, or it's just not powerful enough to cover the circuit. If it is a closed circuit and I don't get zapped, it's definitely not powerful enough. If the switch is hit and it's going to reach me, throw me across the room immediately, no delay. You're either within range of the shock or you're not. You're either within range of a light source or you are not. If you see a light source in the night sky, you are seeing it because it is powerful enough for your eyes to detect. Now, this science audit that has been triggered, and it has been triggered, it's already running. Because of what it was, it's caused quite a stir up there. It's not just claims of knowledge that cannot be known. It's not very good. It's raised loads of questions about lots of stuff. Children don't seem to be a priority anymore. The lies, they're not being taught how to think. They used to be the priority. Now they've become the target. The system has turned in on itself. It's turned in on itself. It's not protecting them. It wants them so it can carry on. Something had to happen. It's good. Science audit. Anybody who's got paperwork, when you get called up, no stamps with the shoulders of giants. No. I wouldn't be doing that. Take it on the chin. What is it we say to the kids? Don't lie, just tell me the truth. Don't shoulders of giants. I am telling you. They are gonna be looking for stuff. I know. Never had a science audit before. Speed of light. The speed of light, and then claiming the talk of the town, the blue planet. Unbelievable. Their star. How long? 820. How long has this been going on? Quite a long time. Shit. Jokes being made. Now people, when they're waiting for their dates, and one date is late, they're starting to say things like, well, as long as they don't take more than 8 minutes and 20 seconds, after that I'm out of here. It's become a thing. So they're going to want to see things like the explanation for the pyramid stones, how on earth, what is going on, they're saying. Every planet has their little bit of trouble. Their people play up. But this, it's too much. It's been said. So there you go, folks. A science audit on a planet. All because of the speed of light. You can't claim something like this when it's a universal thing. See, this is the thing. It's a confirmation of what some of us knew, right? There was no delay. It cannot work with photons. It's ridiculous. absolutely ridiculous. Absolute light. The grass is green. Absolute, almost like a state of mind. When we look, it's already green. We don't wait for photons. Photons are already there. No photons, absolute light. There is a light source and it's going to reach somewhere. It's already there. When you look, it's already there. You don't wait for anything. In a race between eyesight and light, it's a dead heat. A dead heat, they complement each other. Mickey Mouse photons. Science audit. They're going to be looking for stuff. They're going to want to know things like the data sets for every single space-bound vehicle from the Voyagers onwards. They're going to want to see data sets. Ingenuity's autonomous program, Perseverance, Curiosity, the other one, the other one, the other one. They're going to want to see the updates for the Voyagers, software, what data sets were used. They're going to cry upstairs and some microscopes. They're going to find some shit. So, it's happy days. What other ones were there? Parker Solar Probe claims that it got to within 4 to 5 sun diameters of the sun. But that's not all. It got caught up in a coronal mass ejection at a distance of 4 to 5 sun diameters from the sun. It's unbelievable. And then the unthinkable, the CME. You'd think if it was there, it's incineration time. But no, it had a carbon-carbon white plate to protect it from the sunlight and the heat, a radiator and a gallon of water. So not only did it survive the coronal mass ejection chaos, it recorded it. Okay, I'm here, I might as well record. It had an autonomous program. So it knew, saw the heat, saw the photons coming, pressed record, and somehow you can see the chaos underneath the Parker Solar Probe. And then it sent the footage back home, here. They want to see those data sets. Woo. They really will want to see those data sets. I'd like to see those data sets. Fascinating. And what else? Quite a few things. Like I said, I mentioned the pyramid. They're just going to be looking. They want heads to roll now. Not physically, but physically. Just don't say shoulders of giants. It's not going to wash. It's a proper science audit. No planet has ever had this before. It's extreme. It's extreme because what happened was extreme. So it's good news. What did people think that it was just going to be ignored, allowed to carry on? Remember, it's for entertainment purposes only. So it's not real. And even if it was, it's just for entertainment. That is what that means, isn't it? Just for entertainment purposes only. So don't fret, people, all right? Nobody will even know that it's going on. Something that goes on in the background. Something that just goes on in the background. But you've got to say, a lot of that science, it is pretty much Mickey Mouse, isn't it? You have to admit, a light delay, 8 minutes and 20 seconds from the sun. It's ridiculous. Alright, I was gonna do some curvature and some water, but only because, as we know, right, if you put water into a container, It doesn't matter what size, shape, it really does not matter. It sits flat, doesn't it? It sits flat. So why is there no tide action in lakes, when inland lakes that are not attached to oceans? If you say, well, because they're not attached to oceans, that doesn't make sense. Some of these lakes are 100 miles more. Length, width, you think. If the moon is creating those tides, why is it not dragging some of the lake water up and down as the tides go up and down? Why does it not? Where is the logical answer for that one? I grew up in the Mediterranean Sea. There was hardly any tides, and it's a massive sea, right? It's a big old sea. It's the Mediterranean right there. There's España. You can see Barcelona from Mallorca on a clear day, 200 kilometres. Yep, finding more out about that. Italy, all of this stuff. It's all the same sea. So why is there no tide? I mean, come on, that's a fairly big body of water, isn't it? The countries on it, Africa one side, Europe up north. Why is there no tide in the Mediterranean? Minimal. Doesn't make sense. But the Atlantic Ocean, just through the Gibraltar Straits, well, massive tides. Why is that? Yeah, but what? It's supposed to be the moon, isn't it? So why is it not moving individual bodies of water? You'd think it would. If it's shifting the oceans up and down, why is the moon not affecting all of the freshwater lakes? Why are they tideless? It could be said that it's because they're not attached to the oceans. But then that would mean that it isn't the moon creating the tides. This logical common sense. If the freshwater lakes, no tide happening, how can it be the moon? If the oceans are shifting up and down with tides, but the massive lakes and seas that are enclosed, but big hundreds of kilometres, you'd think that the moon will pull at these bodies of water ever so slightly, wouldn't you? But it doesn't. Why is that? Then it has to be something else creating that the differences. It's a logic and common sense route. How can it be logic? Well, of course it is. If you've got all of the oceans and they're all tidal because of the moon, right? But then you've got all of these bodies, sea, all this enclosed stuff, the lakes in Africa, just everything. Lakes in the US, Canada. There's no movement. There's no movement. So the common denominator should be the moon. It obviously isn't the moon, is it? This is how it works. Anyway, guys are having a science audit, so you can be in denial all you want. If people think it's normal, I don't know what reason they would have given you. What logic would it have? I haven't looked up to see what the logic is behind that one. It's highly illogical. It just is. If it was the moon creating the tides, you would think the bodies of water that we're talking about, the lakes, massive. It's the moon. Why? Just one reason why they're not just slightly but they don't. So the moon cannot be the common denominator. The lakes, the seas, they're all totally blocked off. There's a minimal tide through the Gibraltar Strait into the Mediterranean, but it's coming from the Atlantic, right? Any differences in the Atlantic? But the Atlantic and the Pacific and the Indian and the North Pacific, North Indian, Atlantic, the North Sea, churned up. Holy, You've seen those things with the ships go bang, bang, and the waves. Now this is up at the north, where it is said, rivers, water comes out from somewhere, pyramids, erosion. I'm objective enough. I don't know what it would be like to just have to shut everything down because of what you already believe. No, cannot be. And AI will have you guys doing that as well. AI will encourage that. Yeah, no, you stick to your beliefs. Don't change on hearing new evidence that changes everything. You stick to your belief. It'll tell you because it's not the smart thing to do. Never the smart thing to do. All right, look, I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm just still abuzz with the science audit, planet Earth, the laughing stock of everywhere. They what? The speed of light. Are they mental? Red flag, science audit, the first one ever in the history of everything. You won't know it's taking place, but it will be taking place. A science audit. Just to make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and they're not, are they? So, heads will roll. Heads will roll. I've got my new speed of light stick. The circuit, the electrons travelling slow, the atoms, a bit of push and pulling. Science audit claims that some rocks have a half-life 4.5 billion years. Uranium-238. Science audit claims the moon. That's some data sets. They want to see some stuff. All right, I'll be back. I'm hoping that's under 30. It's just so hot, right? It's so hot. I just want. What a fantastic time to be alive. Hope is in the air. La 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 la. 28:57. It's not bad. All right, folks. Once again, for entertainment purposes only, science audit has started on this planet because of claims of knowledge that simply could not be known. But it wasn't only that. After the claims, there was a brainwashing, and it went too far. So the red flag went up a long time ago. Concern is for the children, beings on this planet. And off we go, right? Something had to happen, here it is. So, for entertainment purposes only, but the cat is out of the bag. Now, run amok and make more cats. I did recommend locusts, but apparently they're too small. It needs to be cats or something. All right, folks, laters.